Good morning and welcome back to today's video. It is such a beautiful start to the week. It's Monday morning for me here. So I have lots coming up in today's vlog. I promised you a H&M haul at the end of last week's vlog, and that is going to be in this video. This haul was inspired by actually Josie Irons on YouTube. If you don't follow her, she's absolutely incredible. She lives in the Cotswolds and she just brings the most wholesome, fabulous content. She's also a real lover of H&M Spring collections, as I am. I would tend to live in their dresses for summer holidays, and so when I saw Josie show the spring pieces on her channel, I had to have a look at the collection for myself, and every single piece was more beautiful than the next. This is really high quality as well, and I ended up with quite a few pieces from the collection, so I'm going to do a full try on haul for you in this video. I'm currently marinated in some false tan so that I don't look so white and scary from the lack of sunshine in this country of late. I'm also going to go through how I have been progressing with my new brand Love and Linens and the designs I've been working on, and of course all of the usuals, my mindset work, my daily walks, and maybe even some recipes thrown in there as well. So if you are here for the second or third time and have watched my previous videos, I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. This is a brand new channel and I am really out of my comfort zone, but it's something that I really want to try and give a go to, and I have promised to document my journey as a 47-year-old building a brand from the ground up and kind of merging the businesses that I have. So my cake design business, my digital design business, and yeah, that's the goal, and I tend to document all of that here for you. So let's just get into this week's video. So I also wanted to show you some incredible jeans that I have just had delivery of. It's from a brand new brand, or they are from a brand new brand, should I say, to me, called Halara. And I've seen so many content creators and influencers talk about this over the last few months, and I just had to jump on board and have a look because comfort for me is key, and jeans have always been something that I've completely struggled with buying. I must have 100 pairs of jeans, none of which fit me properly. I'm very wide on the bottom half of my body. I hold all my weight in my bum and my thighs. I have wider hips, and so I've never been able to find a pair of jeans that I feel comfortable or confident in, and I tend to buy a pair, wear it once or twice, and then I toss them aside because I just feel so uncomfortable and self-conscious in them. So when I saw this Halara brand, they're actually an athleisure brand, so they specialize in really comfortable, buttery soft gym wear and athleisure wear, but they also have the most stylish dresses, trousers, tops, everything really under the sun. And when I saw they had jeans, I was so intrigued. I also saw that the jeans that I purchased had gone completely viral on TikTok and they were everywhere. So I am tall, and another issue I have is that my jeans are always just that bit too short, no matter where I get them from. So Halara do actually have a regular length, they have tall, they have extra tall, they have something for, and they have a small as well, or a short. So you really can get every size that you need. And then the jeans themselves, the material is just incredible. I believe it's called Halara Flex, so it's almost stretchy and you feel like you're wearing a pair of leggings, but you look like you're wearing a pair of jeans. So rather than me talk any more about them, I will show you all of those in this week's video too. I bought 3. I'm so tempted to get another 2 pairs. There's currently an offer on at the moment where there is 2 for €69. So they are phenomenal value for something that I think, if it's the right jean for you, you will have forever. And there's just a huge selection of colours and denim finishes. So yeah, stay tuned and I will show you all of those in this week's vlog as well. I wanted to also show you these 3 pieces that I picked up actually from a local charity shop, because I love to pop into these shops mainly for sort of house decor pieces, because you do find a lot of vintage teacups and plates that I love for styling, but also just for some gorgeous clothing pieces for spring. I was in there at the weekend and came out with these gorgeous pieces. So I just wanted to show you that you can actually be really lucky with your finds. This is a piece from Marks and Spencer's M&S, which is a store here in Ireland and the UK. It is this gorgeous tencel material. So you know that real like buttery, soft, and it is just almost silky in this gorgeous, gorgeous pink colour. And that was €10, all the tags still on it. So a really nice piece. And I planned, sorry, when I was purchasing all of these little bits and pieces to match these with the Halara jeans. So that's a kind of reference point as to why I went for these spring kind of colours. This one, again, a really, really lightweight shirt. It is from Dunnes Stores, another department store based here in Ireland. And it was just €5. So again, really gorgeous, really bright spring colours, my sage. In fact, so this may actually be my favourite piece of the haul, and it is this fat face jacket. It's lightweight but extremely good quality, and just a beautiful half zip that you can throw over any light shirt, a light jumper, like a thin ribbed jumper, or even just a t-shirt for spring for walking. And it is just like the detail. If I can zoom in here, you can see the little fat face logo is on the buttons. It has the little leather fat face zip cord here. And it also has the little fat face here on the pull cord ties. So just a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. And it's kind of the salmony pink colour. And that was just €10, and I know the Fat Face brand is actually quite a premium brand, so that was just phenomenal value. It barely looks like it was worn. So I'm just going to give all these pieces a wash, and yeah, just, you know, check out your charity and thrift stores, because you can find some really, really affordable pieces. Some days before I go into the office, I actually love to just sit here and listen to the birds, because the trees here, we have a lot of forestry part of our land here, and the trees and the birds and the bird song is just so incredible. I just try and take a little second before I get into my work just to ground myself, I guess. And I have done my meditation, which you would have seen in my previous vlog, which I do every single morning. So that has also grounded me for a day of design and just gets you in the right frame of mind, especially on a Monday. I find that this is going to sound really kind of selfish, but when it comes to a Friday evening, my mindset struggles seem to happen kind of on a Saturday morning, really, actually, for the weekend, because I find that my own routine and my peace and the way I work, I guess you could say, is disturbed by children and husbands, and that's obviously no reflection on having children and being married, of course. It's just that I am a creature of habit, and my own habits have to change at the weekend to accommodate my children and my husband, so we can do things together as a family. And so, but I do tend to need to work on my mindset a little bit more during those times, because I get frustrated with myself for thinking I should be working when this is actually my own business. So there's nobody putting pressure on myself but myself. And so I really try not to work as much anymore at the weekends, and I try a little bit less to pick up the camera. So most of these vlogs, I guess, will be midweek and during the week, and showing you how I conduct my day, I suppose, and how I manage being a mom of three, and how I manage growing this business and doing it from scratch. And you will see all of the bumps in the road with doing this, because no doubt there's going to be lots. Like, I'm learning as I go. Now starting to introduce product into the mix, so with my table linens, natural products and ethically sourced products and inks, safe inks, all of that is really, really important to me. So I'm now at that process of finding suppliers that would fit that bill. Also, wasted of product is something that was really important to me, and obviously something that you worry about as a new business. You don't want to hold stock and then not sell the products, because you know there's an element of testing designs to see if they work, and maybe it's something that I love but not necessarily a design that will sell. And so you don't want to have produced, you know, units and units of this one design to be left with all that stock on the shelf. So the model that I'm going to go with for my linen brand is print on demand, which means that the pieces will only be printed as my customers order. So it's a really incredible model for both myself and also for the environment, because it means there is no wastage, but it means that I don't have to hold any stock. So the suppliers that I am in talks with at the moment are print on demand suppliers. They have that facility, so I will be able to run my business through my existing Etsy store. And so I will upload my designs, and once my customers place an order, the order goes directly to my chosen supplier, and they will fulfill that order and ship that order. So it's just a really exciting way of doing things, and it's the way of the world these days. Like years ago, we would not have been able to have access to starting a business like this and, you know, running a model that's print on demand like this. So it's just so exciting. So like that's as well what I want this channel to be, because I'm hoping that there are people and creatives out there like me who you probably have an idea, or you would love to start a new business and you're just afraid to do so. So I was that person. So I hope I can inspire some way that there are ways, there are means. It will take courage, there will be risk, but you know, everything in life takes a little bit of risk and a little bit of stepping out of your comfort zone. And so follow along, and I hope I can inspire you in some way. And if you have any questions about Etsy or any of the things that I am putting up here, do reach out, because I would absolutely try and help in any way, shape or form if I can. So I'm going to head in now and just work on my designs and take them a little bit further. An absolutely beautiful day. Show you these absolute beauties. The scenery. And I'm lucky to live somewhere just down there in the trees. So I get to walk here every single day. When the weather is like this, it's incredible. As you'd have seen from my last vlog, it can change very quickly, as it was lashing rain that day. Good morning. So I think I must have taken at least 100 pictures of this tree. I just think the way it stands, the shape, the way it leans is just magical. And it will definitely be the inspiration for one of my future designs, that's for sure. So I just wanted to show it to you because I just think it is incredible. So as promised, I said I would show you the Halara jeans that I have recently purchased, and this is the first pair that I've on here. So there are so many different shades of denim. You can get from anything from dark all the way to light and everything in between. So I'll link all the colours of these below because I'm a little unsure which one's which at the moment. They have this asymmetric shape and design. You can actually get them with just a normal waistband here as well. These are the low rise. You can also get them in high rise. And sizing, as I followed the advice from people online, they did say to size down. These are extremely stretchy and extremely soft, so there is quite a bit of room So I would also advise a size down. These are an extra small. For reference, I would be about a size 10, and definitely I still have plenty of room. Lengthwise, if you can see there, they do go down almost to cover my shoe, and this is the extra tall length. So they have a tall, they have an extra tall, and I think they have even taller again, and then they have your standard and short lengths as well. So there is literally something for everybody. So this is the first pair in the blue. All of them that I've gone for is the same asymmetric waist and the same sizings. So just to give you a reference. So the second pair I have is this gorgeous cream color, and it has this kind of a rusty kind of brown stitching in contrast. So just really, really gorgeous for spring and summer. Again, really, really stretchy, so comfortable. I have the tag here just to show you. So this is the Halara Flex Denim. That's what you're looking for. And in the extra small, extra tall. And this again is the asymmetric waisted, just to show you it does actually fasten with a little button on the inside, and then you have the button and zip on the outside, and it's just an asymmetric fastener. So next I've thrown on the beige pair. I've actually thrown them on with some heels just to show you that you can actually dress them up as well, and just to show the length. So I will put the camera down slightly so you can see that now in a second. But again, you have the same asymmetric waist. The only thing when you are wearing a lighter colour pair like this is that you will see the lining of the pocket. I don't think there's any way of avoiding that in white or light colour jeans. It's just the nature of them. But I think I still have the tags on just in case, because I don't know if that's going to be something that will annoy me, but I do love them. Again, I think for spring, summer with a nice little top and heels, and then equally with a pair of flip-flops or some raffia slip-ons or sandals, they'd be really, really nice. So yeah, again, very, very comfy, same fit, same length, and I'll just bring it down slightly so you can see maybe a bit better there, the length with the heels. So they are pretty much covering the heels. And again, just a close-up of the stitching. Really, really nice. Yeah, just really, really comfy, and I just love the versatility of them. So you can dress them up, dress them down, you can wear them with runners as I was a minute ago, and you can be totally comfy while you're working, or you can dress them up with a pair of heels going out. So that's the cream pair, and I have one more denim pair, which is a lighter denim to show you. Okay, so last up, this is the lightest blue denim in the three that I have purchased. Again, these feel slightly more snug than the other two pairs, which I actually like. They seem to fit just slightly bit better. When I do hold them up together, there is about a centimetre between the sizes, so I think that's just obviously a discrepancy in how they were made, but I'm happy enough with these ones to be that little bit more snug. Again, everything is the same. All of the details, the same stretch, the same asymmetric buttons and top and closure. Again, you can wear a belt with these as well. There is a belt loop all the way around, but for me, comfort wise, when I'm sitting, I would definitely have them on without a belt. And I'll just pop on a pair of heels again. So I'm just putting on just a pair of neutral heels just to show reference for the length. You can see there. So really, really versatile, and you can, because they're stretchy, you can literally sit them where you want to. I mean, these are a low rise, but you can pull them up slightly. If you're slightly hippier like I am, I do have quite big, broad hip bones here. So either they can sit below or they can sit just snug above. But there is absolutely no restriction whatsoever like you would get with normal jeans. I mean, if you were out for a meal, you could comfortably eat and not feel uncomfortable. So you know, that tightness you'd feel in a pair of jeans, I just can't see that happening with these. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for me with Halara. Again, there are always special offers and coupons available on the app, and I'll link that down below. I got 3 pairs. It was buy 2 get 1 free. They currently have a 2 for €69 offer, and as I said, there are lots of content creators as well who do have discount codes available. So have a look around. I just wanted to share them because if you're like me and have trouble buying jeans, then these are definitely a really great find, and they have hundreds of styles. They have everything like the new baggy, putting on just a pair of neutral heels just to show reference for the length. You can see there. So really versatile, and you can because they're stretchy, you can literally sit them where you want to. I mean, these are a low rise, but you can pull them up slightly. If you're slightly hippier like I am, I do have quite big broad hip bones here. So either they can sit below or they can sit just snug above, but there is absolutely no restriction whatsoever like you would get with normal jeans. I mean, if you were out for a meal, you could comfortably eat and not feel uncomfortable. So you know, that tightness you'd feel in a pair of jeans, I just can't see that happening with these. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for me with Halara. Again, there are always special offers and coupons available on the app, and I'll link that down below. I got 3 pairs. It was buy 2 get 1 free. They currently have a 2 for €69 offer, and as I said, there are lots of content creators as well who do have discount codes available. So have a look around. I just wanted to share them because if you're like me and have trouble buying jeans, then these are definitely a really great find. Guys, just on the way back from school, and I was just listening to another surprise David Bear podcast on YouTube, and I mentioned him in my previous vlog, but today he was speaking about changing your mindset, and I just really wanted to share it with you because this has been really life changing for me. I've had that kind of aha moment because you can kind of listen to all of this mindset manifestation, all of the gurus and the videos, and that's what I literally fill my mind with daily, but it's the action part that's actually quite important, and it's also putting kind of a framework or an understanding behind what these gurus are saying. And so David made it very simple today, and it just clicked, and it is that if you have limiting beliefs in your life, so limiting beliefs are the things that you believe about yourself that are negative, so they are the thoughts that come into your mind over and over again. So if you have a goal and you start on your way to achieving that goal, you will come up with all of these different things like I'm not good enough, I can't do it, imposter syndrome, you know, there are far too many people doing it already, all of these things, whatever the case may be, these are your limiting beliefs, and we all have them. I have many of them. I've mentioned them on here. My imposter syndrome with this YouTube channel is massive, and I have to work on it every day. But what David said today was that changing those limiting beliefs is simply making a new decision. And I kind of sat with that for a minute and I was like, what does he mean by this? But it is really, really, really straightforward. So it is to decide that whatever those limiting beliefs are, you're going to decide that the opposite is true for you. And so this was actually the second time I heard this particular podcast, and I think it just started to play automatically when I got in the car today for a reason, because I needed to hear it again so that it was fresh in my mind so that I could share it with you guys. But yesterday I actually took this practice, and when I sat down first thing in the morning, I really felt a calling to write out the opposite to all of the limiting beliefs that I had. So just to give you one example, the limiting belief that I always mention about, feeling insecure about being on YouTube and not good enough. My new belief is now going to be that I am going to show up every single day confident as a successful YouTube content creator, and that my content will inspire others. And even just saying that out loud to you guys now makes me feel different, and that has to shift that limiting belief in some way. The second part to that for me is that writing something out like that really does train the subconscious mind quicker. So these limiting beliefs are all stored in your subconscious mind. So these beliefs come up nearly automatically, like the same way you get up in the morning and you start to breathe, or you breathe through the day, or you put one foot on front of the other. These are all behaviors that come from the subconscious mind. And so a limiting belief in that subconscious needs to be untrained or reprogrammed. And so that is the best way for me. So going forward, one of my new morning rituals is going to be to write out my set of new decisions. And I just thought I'd share that with you, because if you are someone who has limiting beliefs, which I don't think there's anyone out there that don't, then this might be a nice little morning practice and ritual that you can add in to your morning as well. So I promised you a H&M haul in this week's vlog, and this is it. And I'm starting off with a really, really strong piece, and this is, I think, absolute dress perfection. Everything from these little ruffle details to the elasticated straps, the fit. It is A-line, kicks out slightly. I'm going to bring the camera down in a minute so that you can see the full length. And then you have this open back, and again you have this elasticated back band. And for somebody who is very small in the top half, so the itty bitty titty brigade, if you're one of those like me, then this dress is absolutely perfect, because you don't need to worry about a bra. It is just so comfortable and absolute winner. I'm going to take the camera down so you can see the bottom half. So again, the print on this dress is just perfection for me. With my branding by now, I love all things floral, and the print is just absolutely incredible. And then down at the bottom you have this beautiful green framing all the way along. You have this gorgeous kind of A-line style shaped skirt, and pinched in at the bodice just to give it the most beautiful flattering shape. I'm just wearing it with a pair of heels, but equally you could wear this with a pair of raffia flats or a pair of flip-flops. It's just so versatile and really, really designer-esque. It looks so much more expensive than it is, and I will leave all of the links and the prices for each of these pieces. Everything that I'm wearing and showing today are in a size small, and I'm trying them on in real time with you right now, so we'll see that everything fits perfectly. But this, first off, number one, is a small and perfect fit. So this second piece is one that I was most excited about, because this is a linen sort of material, if you can see there from the camera, and this is very much in keeping with the table linen brand that I am putting into production, my new business. And this is the exact type of linen that I am hoping to achieve with my table linens. So I was so excited when I saw this. It definitely went straight into the cart. Again, this is really beautiful, gorgeous print, very good quality, and ruched here at the back to give it the perfect fit. Again, no bra necessary if you are smaller endowed like me. And again, it's a full skirt, so I'm just going to bring the camera down slightly to show you that. So again, pinched in at the waist, ruching at the back, and spaghetti straps that are in the linen material, and then full A-line skirt again. It is lined, so you also have, as well as this really heavy, good quality linen material, you have a double lining inside. So it's just fits like a glove, hangs perfectly, and again, another absolutely perfect piece in my opinion. And I just love this one. So I'm really struggling to find my favorite, but this is probably the most expensive of the three, but still under €50. And this gorgeous halter neck is just stunning. It has a really long bow that you tie for the neck, so you can tie it as long or as short as you want. And it has a slightly dropped waist. So it has all of this gorgeous ruching on the top, which just makes it really, really expensive and premium. And this could make an incredible wedding guest dress, I think. Again, it has the beautiful flowy skirt. It is lined, and I will just take you down again just to show you the bottom. So just to give you a closer look at the waist. So it is a slight drop waist, which I love because I have quite a long torso. So that works really well for my body shape. Again, just to show you, you can have this as a gorgeous big bow at the back. This one would probably be great with hair tied up if you were going to a wedding or a garden party or something like that during the summer. And you have the long flowy skirt again on this one. It is just gorgeous. Again, this is a small. I actually thought this one looked a little bit bigger when I first got it, but it does. There is a little bit of extra room. I could possibly size down on this or wear a strapless bra just to fill that out a bit more, and I could also tighten these straps just to bring it up a little bit more. So I think the way it fits down here is perfect for me. If I went for an extra small, I don't want to be restricted here. So size wise, yeah, I think the small works, and just a really amazing piece. Okay, and last up is dress number 4, and it is this gorgeous little number that is just tie strings. So this one is just gorgeous. It has just the little tie straps, so you can tie them as long or as short as you like. It has a V-neck, which is slightly different to some of the others, which I love. Again, cinched at the waist, and you have your perfect drop skirt. And I'll just bring the camera down again. So again, all of these pieces are midi length, so they just cut me halfway across the calf, and for reference, I am 5'10", so just the perfect length for me. I love a midi dress. I just think H&M this year have completely nailed their spring summer collection, and for me, loving all things floral and nature, I'm so happy with all these pieces that I'm going to keep all 4. And I have 1 or 2 other bits that are not dresses, just a couple of cardigans that I bought just for the cooler days coming up to the summer, because we're not quite ready to wear these string dresses on their own just quite yet here in Ireland. And I will show those next. I'll probably style those with my Halara jeans from yesterday. So next I just wanted to show you these gorgeous cardigans from H&M. I bought these in 2 different colours. So this is like a sage green colour, and then I also bought it in sort of a buttermilk cream colour, and these are just Really, really cute. They're the perfect little length to wear with jeans like I am here, or over any of the little dresses, which is really why I did buy them, just because they're all very strappy for the season that we're in at the moment, which is still a little bit cold. But again, I'll just bring the camera down, show you the length. Mind, I have a longer torso, so this may be slightly shorter on me. I am 5'10" in height, but this part of my body is the longest. So these could come down to meet jeans on somebody else, and then of course they will be perfect over a dress, just either thrown over your shoulders or buttoned up like this. But they're just really gorgeous, lightweight material and really fabulous colours. They have a number of different colours. I will leave them linked below so you can have a look at all of the colours that are available. So this is the second cardigan that I got. It's more of this kind of a buttery cream colour, and I think this one is just so versatile because it goes with literally anything in your wardrobe. So this was the first colour that I threw into the cart, and I just think it's so fresh. The buttons are slightly darker on this one, which I like, and again, same shorter length on me because of my torso, but they do have a huge range of cardigans. So if you do like more of an oversized cardigan, I definitely saw some in beautiful spring colours. So they do have that kind of more floppy overlook if you like that comfort, oversized should I say, if you like that comfort feel. So again, they're just really soft, very, very inexpensive. I'll leave all of the prices and the links to everything that I have shown in this video linked down below so you can shop for yourself. So that is everything that I purchased in this spring summer haul from H&M. I have to say that this has been the most I have ever stepped out of my comfort zone. This is really uncomfortable for me to film myself in a try-on haul, as the content creators call it. I feel so out of my comfort zone and like a total imposter, but I think part of this channel is for me to just do that, to step outside of the places that are comfortable for me. And I love watching people my own age show clothes. I find that a lot of content creators are younger than me, and so it's an unrealistic vision for me to look or wear the same things sometimes as those content creators. And everybody has their own style, and I just would value to see style and clothing and spring summer hauls from somebody in my age group who is in a similar circumstance. I'm a mum of 3. I run a really manic, busy life, looking after my 3 children and juggling my cake design business, and now building this brand new business from the ground up. And that's real life. And so I want to show all of the things that are real life to me, and that includes shopping in H&M for gorgeous spring pieces. So I hope I did H&M some justice by showing the clothes today. It was real, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some inspiration from the pieces I showed. That was the goal, by sharing. And let's get back to the vlog. So if you're new to the channel, you may not know that this is where I run my business. So I do work from my garden. This is my studio, which initially was my cake design studio, which is Love and Cakes, but has now become the home of my new personal brand, which is Inspired by Amanda, the name of this channel. And then it will also incorporate my Etsy store, my design side of the business, and then my Love and Linen. So obviously the Love and Linens is play on Love and Cakes, so that there's tie-in with my brands, and then all managed by my overall personal brand, which is Inspired by Amanda. So this is where I am so grateful to come and work every single day. As I said, it is in my back garden, and I just absolutely love it. It is peaceful, tranquil, and it's where I escape from the world. So I wanted to give you a little update on my linen brand. So as you know, it is a goal of mine to add a tablescape and table linen offering to my business, and that truly is where every single event that I host at home begins for me. It's always with a tablecloth, with some napkins, and usually a table runner, and those are three staples to me when I am hosting any single event, and I generally build everything out from that. So once I have a theme or a color scheme in mind, I will start with those basics, and I just find it really difficult to find really beautiful pieces, and I wanted to create a collection that is based on the natural surroundings that I get to enjoy here every day in the beautiful garden of Ireland where I live in Enniskerry, and just some of the nature that I am so privileged to see when I look out the window every single day. And so my very first design for my first collection is known as the Wicklow Garden, and I have decided on this because there are many times where I am sitting enjoying a coffee either here in my studio or in my kitchen, where I look out on this expanse of all of the trees, and a bird that I had never seen before moving here to Enniskerry appears every now and then, and it is the most beautiful bird I think that we have here in Ireland. I do believe it's quite rare, and it's known as the Eurasian jay. It is a bird that is blue, white and brown in colour. So some of my absolute favourite colour combinations when I design, funnily enough. And when it flies, you just get this flash of colour as it flies above and lands in the green foliage. And that was always what I wanted to use as the imagery in my first design. So I'm going to take you around to this side of the computer and show you the design that I've been working on, and I'm now nearly at the stage where I'm going to push the samples into production. So I am so unbelievably excited, because to hold something physical in my hands will be just really real, and it'll be the start of something very exciting. So I'll take you around and show you where I am with the design. So firstly, for those of you that don't know what a Eurasian jay looks like, because I certainly did not, this is it here. It is this beautiful bird. So as you can see, the wing spans is just stunning. So it's got this gorgeous blue, the brown, and then the black and the white. And when it's seated or standing, you can just see it's very minimal in terms of the colour span on the brown, but when it's in flight and open, as I said, it is just stunning. So that is the beautiful bird that I get to see very often here in the garden. And so here I'm very excited to show is my first design inspired by that. So if I just zoom in a little bit, you will see that I have used the image of the jay twice. So here as it would be perched on the greenery or the foliage in the trees, and then here in full flight with the colour splash. I've kept it quite subtle because this is a natural brand. There will be natural linens used and natural cottons, and so the colourings won't be very white, they'll be almost subdued, and that's the look I want, that kind of off-white colouring. And so the imagery here very much depicts that, and will be quite subtle in the placement and how it looks on that fabric, which I just love. Two things again that are very native to my garden here is wild garlic, and we have fern, and then just some natural green foliage, and I've used all in this design. If you tile this, so you can imagine this print repeated a number of times and you will get one overall print. So that is going to be the basis of the design for my napkin. So I have then moved on to my tablecloth. This is using a variation of a matching design. So I'm just going to zoom in on, I'm going to take these lines out of the way. They are for my positioning. So I'll just remove those so it's easier to see. I'm going to zoom in on the lower part to show you the actual design. So if you can imagine, you'll have this design on this side of the tablecloth and the exact same design reversed on the opposite hang side. And so this is again the beautiful jay right there in the center, sitting in the foliage, just nestled. And I just think the way that it flows and this gorgeous shape is just so delicate and beautiful. And for me, it's very, very important. So if I just zoom out again, the tablecloth for me is always the part that grounds everything. And then the third piece will, of course, be a table runner. This again is something really, really important to me to have down the center. And again, why I opt for a more neutral tablecloth and then add the table runner down the center as of more of a focal point. And I think this just really is the way to build elegance on a table. And again, I have gone with the J in a slightly different format, again nestled in the foliage, just really kind of subtly placed. I don't want the J to be the first thing that you see. I almost want you to be able to find it, almost like a Where's Wally, where it's subtle, but when you look carefully and closely, you see him. And that's just what I wanted to achieve. I think this would be really elegant and beautiful right down the center of the tablecloth. And then you have nothing else around it bar your place settings. So for every tablescape that I design, I always start with a neutral tablecloth. And for me, this is really key to create an elegant table if you're hosting a dinner or a party or whatever it might be. And I tend to veer away from heavily printed tablecloths because really there is a place for that, of course. But for me, I love to layer every single table, and I like to layer it with the different textures. So that would be through my plates, my glassware, my linens, and then of course my knives, forks, and depending on what color you're choosing. And I think by having a neutral or a more neutral tablecloth, that lends itself to be a more subtle base for you to work with. And then in the table runner, as you saw, the print is continuous through the middle. So that draws the eye towards the center of the table, where I would put a focal point right central to that, which would be foliage or greenery or some sort of centerpiece, a layer with candles, for instance. And then I would use plain crockery. So I tend to only use like a white or a cream crockery. I may pick up one of the colours in a table mat underneath, so maybe a round mat in a sage green, for instance, in this case, an off-white plate with maybe a slight gold trim. And then I will go bold with my napkin. And this again is of course according to taste, but if you have gone subtle with your tablecloth, I think it just allows you to play and be a bit bold with that napkin at the end and really add that pop of something special. And so that's why I've designed the napkin in this bold all over print that picks up all the elements of the print everywhere else in every other item. But it also gives you the option to use a neutral napkin in place of that printed napkin. So if you just wanted to add a neutral sage, or you wanted to add a neutral green and just pick up one of the colours from the table runner design, for instance, you can easily do that and veer away from that bolder print. But I wanted to have that bold print as an option because I think it is fabulous to add that on a plate. It just really does make that table just slightly more elevated. But as I said, it gives you the option of doing it both ways by starting with a neutral base on the tablecloth. So that was your first look at my brand new and first ever collection for my table linen brand, Love and Linens. And I feel a little bit excited and overwhelmed and nervous that it is now out there because it's made it very, very real. But as I have said in every step of all of the vlogs so far, is that I want to step outside of my comfort zone with everything I do. And being on YouTube is the biggest way to step out of that comfort zone and to stay accountable, I guess, for my ideas, because there are many things in my life that I have planned to do and just not followed through on, and I really did not want this to be one of them. And so By documenting it here on YouTube, it means that whatever the outcome, so whether this fails or whether this is a huge success, it means I've tried and I've given it my all, and my passion will be seen here, I hope, on this channel through showing the designs and how I come about with the inspiration and where I get that inspiration and all of the things in between. And I really hope that you loved it. I would love to hear your comments below on what you think of the designs, and I'd love to know if there are any designs that you would love to see. Have you ever been to the Garden of Ireland or County Wicklow, and is there a little part of it you would love to have in your home? I'd love your suggestions, and I'm always designing, I'm always looking for more inspiration, and this is just the start of something very, very exciting. So yeah, it's out there, and this is the start of Love and Linens. So I'm going to end this week's vlog here. I hope that you enjoyed it. You'll have just seen my spring summer H&M haul, and I can tell you that that is probably the most out of my comfort zone that I have ever been. That is something that is so uncomfortable for me to do. So I really hope that you were inspired by some of the pieces and that you enjoyed it, and I hope I did it justice. I can only apologize if it was a bit of a shambles, because I know most people are used to these gorgeous influencers showing off clothes to perfection, but I did my best. That's all I can do. I also had promised to share some recipes this week, and I know I didn't get around to it in this vlog. So that will be my promise to you, that next week I will share some nice, fun, high protein recipes on here that I love to make over and over. And until then, take care. Bye.